Hello Exiles, and today I'm going to give you a little Path of Exile 2 news just to try and give you a little bit of an update on some information that has come about and some updates to the website. So before I jump into that, just want to say thank you for anyone that has subscribed to the channel. I fully appreciate it, and if you are not subscribed, then I would kindly ask for you to subscribe. I am trying to grow the channel, so let's try and see what we can do. With that being said, let's jump into this. So as you can see in the background here, this is the Path of Exile 2 website. Now the early access is going to be launching on November 15th, but when I went onto the website today, there are a few little added extras which have been added which were not on the website quite over the last couple of weeks. So I just wanted to kind of bring this to your attention. So there has now been some added artwork which I feel is going to be the pictures for your ascendancies for the background. So we have artwork for the warrior, the ranger, the huntress, the sorceress, the mercenary, the monk, the druid, and the witch. Now there are 4 more that are missing here on the right, as you can see, which I'm going to assume that they're going to be updating over the coming weeks and months. And I'm trying to kind of think what is missing. So we've got obviously the warrior. The only thing that I can think is potentially Templar. I'm trying to think what else we have. So we have Huntress, Ranger, Warrior. So we're missing the Templar. We have the Monk, and I can't think what else we're missing. I'd have to go through them all, but all of the artwork is now here, and I feel that these are going to be the artworks that are potentially going to be on your ascendancy choices. Next thing is further down here, they have now added this in, which is a now in-depth equipment system. Now, first things first, there are some items in here which you can actually have a look at. So we have a slicing quarterstaff, we have a hooded mask, we have a lapis amulet. So this now is the new design of the lapis amulet that we currently have in Path of Exile. We have a topaz ring, which obviously provides lightning resistance. So this is now the new artwork and art design for the topaz ring. As you can imagine, this is the sapphire ring. Nice little juicy sapphire there in the ring. We have here some spiral wraps, a plate belt, some hunting shoes, and then the chest is the new artwork for the Cloak of Flame, which is the unique item that we are all aware of, and this is the one that provides you with physical taken as fire. Additionally to this, there are also flasks, so potentially these are what the flasks are going to look like. So we have here a colossal life flask, a giant life flask here, which obviously is a lot lower than this one. We have here a giant mana flask and a colossal mana flask. And then what kind of surprised me is this middle one. So in Path of Exile currently, you can roll poison immunity on your flasks to basically remove poison or be immune to poison. However, in Path of Exile 2, there is an entire flask devoted to the immunity of poison, which kind of worries me, because then that kind of makes me think that it's going to be a little bit harder to be ailment immune if you cannot roll poison immunity. Maybe there's a flask for bleed immunity, maybe there's a flask for some for ignite immunity. So this is an antidote. There may be one to do with putting you out, like a dousing flask or something for removing an ignite. There may be one for stopping a bleed, like a bandage flask or something. I don't know. So that is obviously something that's a little bit concerning to me, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Secondly, the next thing that I saw on the website here is that there is a explore a new endgame, and obviously they have stated here that at the conclusion of your Path of Exile 2 6th Act campaign, you'll then gain access to its endgame, and each of the more than 100 endgame maps has its own boss fight and modifiers that enable revamped versions of many of Path of Exile's past leagues. As they've said here, we'll reveal more details of the surprises that await you in the endgame in the lead up to release. But this in itself does provide quite a bit of information in regards to the fact that we are going to be doing maps. So the next thing that I wanted to show you here is there is some elements of the skill tree which has managed to come around and online. Now I appreciate some of this may be subject to change over the coming months, but I appreciate that many of this will stay the same. Now the main thing that I wanted to show and highlight, as you can probably see it already, which is quite glaringly obvious, is that there is some elements of the skill tree which are tailored and built for that particular class. For example, down here on the right hand side we have what looks like a spear, which I'm going to assume is all for the huntress, which are going to be all spear related nodes. Above it here we have a bow, so I'm going to assume that this is for the ranger, and obviously this will all be bow anticipated. Now to zoom into these, there you go, we got the bow and the spear. Now on the top side of the tree there is also quite a bit over here. This is for the monk and the shadow. Now there is no particular kind of shapes on this side, but you could say that this over here is like a claw. There is like what looks like some sort of like staff here at the bottom. This beginning part here looks very crazy with all the curvy lines and everything. This looks pretty crazy over here. There is so many nodes around here, and there is this whole section in the middle here, which the only way to get to this bottom bit here, you have to go in and round and down and back in again to get to it. So it's a bit of a, you have to go in, down, round and back to get this point, which is a very way of using points, but yeah, it just looks very cool, this tree. What I also noticed as well is that some of these chunks of trees and some of the clusters are very point intensive. Now if we just take this point down here, for example, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points just in this one cluster here. That is nearly, what, 10% of all of your skill points that are needed just for this. Now I'm hoping that getting to this end of the tree will then provide you with a massive power boost, and all of these nodes are going to be very well used, and they're going to be very good to improve your damage. As it goes for this as well with the bow node, if you just wanted to go to the end and go for the notables, I noticed that the quickest way was to go up the side, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, then pick up this 5, 6, 7. You would still need to spend 7 points just to get to this. Now if you wanted all of these smaller ones as well and get the entire chunk of clusters, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points just for this bow cluster here. So I can already kind of see that there is going to be a lot of emphasis going for some of these key notables, because I'm going to assume with the fact that it takes nearly 5 points to get to some of them, that they must have quite a bit of power hidden behind them. Same goes for this one over here. These two nodes here, it's going to take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points just to get to it. So I'm going to assume that there is a lot of power hidden behind these points. Otherwise, there is no point pathing 6 points just to get something that may only give you 5% extra damage. So that is obviously just something I wanted to highlight. It does look a very cool and kooky tree. It does look a little bit bigger than the current tree. And from what I can see as well, there is no masteries either. So just bear that in mind. It's a case that you just take the points on the tree and nothing else. Other than that, guys, that was all I wanted to highlight to yourselves today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then throw us a like, throw us a comment, put your views down below, what you think of Path of Exile 2, what do you think of the skill tree so far, and let me know in the comments. Until the next one, guys, thank you for watching and stay sane.